Hi. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Yay. Hey, Des Moines.
Yeah, Des Moines. Is this your first time out here?
I was a Iowa virgin till I got here. And now I'm not.
Have you been able to do anything?
No.
No?
No.
So,
No.
is it usually like that when you're doing these shows? Is it usually airport, hotel, convention center, hotel, airport?
Well, there's a couple more. It's airport, hotel, convention center, hotel, convention center,
Right.
hotel, convention center. Now, maybe I get a chance to go out to
To
dinner.
dinner.
Um, but it kind of depends on how crazy busy it's been,
Right.
how exhausted I am. Because I really I don't know, anybody who's come to my table, I spend time with people. I want to get to know everybody. And I know, because I love you guys. Hi, Avery. And so I leave at the end of the day a little bit.
Right.
I left it on the table. And so sometimes I just power down
Right.
and then come back. But every now and again, it kind of depends.
All right, so let's
I'll
say
go out.
Let's say you are able to go out. So this question is for you. Where should Judith go for dinner tonight?
I knew it. Like 10 people have said zombie burger.
Buzzard Billy's, that's my go-to.
Okay, somebody was saying it's like Chop House 81, 51. What's it called? 801. 801. Chop House 801. Top of the tower. Okay.
All right.
Ooh, that sounds like effort. Do they have an elevator?
So, but yeah, so how have these fine folks here
Awesome.
been treating you?
I was made a really good first impression. You absolutely have. Yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the fun things about doing this is
Right.
that we were saying it, I was driving in with Vanessa Shaw and Melissa, she's a voiceover actress. I forget her last name. And we were all saying, we've never been here before. And that's what's kind of fun about Comic-Cons is we were like, what state haven't you gone to?
Right. And
This is one of them.
especially
Because we see each other all the time.
right. Yeah, I'm
Love
absolutely
Milo.
blessed. But I mean, again, back in 1990 with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there was none of this, and
None.
even with Halloweentown, there were things like conventions weren't as big as they are now. So when you go, you film something, you shoot, you cut, it comes out later. Yeah, you'll be able to see box office numbers, ratings, Rotten Tomatoes, this.
Right.
But you get to come out here and you get to see these faces. What is it like to hear some of those stories, especially those who have been saving up these stories since 1990 that have grown up and they finally get to tell you these stories? What is that like?
Well, it's wonderful. I feel like I am a repository for stories. Yeah, we didn't have any of this before social media. It was funny because people had asked me for years to do Comic-Cons, and I've seen Galaxy Quest. Like, first of all, you could be abducted. But it also seemed like it was the last job you did when you weren't relevant anymore or didn't have a career anymore. And I do and did. And I have a really good friend, Michael Cudlitz. He was on The Walking Dead. He played Abraham. And I said, I know you do these. And, I'm asked all the time. I said, but I mean, Michael. And he went, you're an idiot. You will love them. You will love meeting your fans. Go and then report back. And I went to my first Comic-Con. It was in San Antonio, Texas, and I brought my mom. She had the best time because people were complimenting me, and I was like, and this is my mom. And she, I said, the fruit does not fall far from the tree, and my mother is the tree. And so I found that I really did love it. And I love hearing the stories. I love meeting you guys. And I've heard, oh my gosh, I have heard stories. Like, if there's always a crier every weekend. And I don't mean like, generally if somebody's crying.
It's never a bad thing.
No. And it's never a bad thing, but it a lot of times is attached to a story that's really meaningful. My mom and I used to watch this. My mom passed. All kinds of things. And so, and then I get to hear that, and I sort of feel like it's not about me, it's about you and your experience of something that I was lucky enough to be a part of. So I feel really grateful. And I learned that from the great Debbie Reynolds, who, yeah, I mean, somebody was asking me today, how was it working? What was it like working with her? And I said, all right, just like imagine how good you think it would be working with her. And then it was like 10 times better. She was amazing. But she taught all of us. She schooled us. And, she said, Judith, if you don't have fans, you won't have a career. And because I was teasing her because she was constantly stopping and signing autographs and chatting, and we're trying to like get to set. And I at one point I just said, oh my gosh, you would like pose with a coat hanger. And she got real serious. And when mom gets in your face, you listen. And she was like, Judith? And there was a certain quality in her voice where it was like, I'm about to get a pearl of wisdom. Here goes. If you don't have fans, you don't have a career. And I was like, well, you're Debbie Reynolds. You have fans. I mean, what? And it was really doing Comic-Cons. I mean, obviously, all through my life and career, people have come up to me and all of that. But it's not the same thing as when you're in these environments. And then when social media happened, and in Hollywood, they would prefer if you stayed in the bubble and didn't know that you had fans so that they could control you. And it's kind of a weird thing. I've had a lot of chats with actors about that, like when they're like, yeah, we just really, It's like, I have all these fans that would follow me anywhere. They don't want you to know that because then they can get you for $6.99.
Right. Doing these shows, and then obviously working with some greats like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Do you still get starstruck at all?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we all have our things that are special to us. And when I was growing up, my icons were Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, and Mary Tyler Moore. And I'm at a Comic-Con, and I walk into a bathroom, and there is Vicki Lawrence dressed as Mama, putting on her makeup, and I was just like, oh. The stockings, the hair, the pearls, and it was clear that she was, trying to get ready because I think she was going to do a photo op or something, and she was like doing a quick change. So she really didn't have a lot of time to interact, and I wanted to just fangirl all over her, and I said, keep moving. I'm just going to talk while I said, this is a surreal moment. I'm having a moment, which I announced to all the stalls in the bathroom. And I said, I just want you to know that you're one of the reasons that I wanted to become an actress. And she just smiled. And then she had to up, out the door. Well, guess who showed up next? The stall door opens and out comes Barbara Eden, who, for those of you who don't know, she was I Dream of Jeannie. She was a little icon, 92 years old, sassy as they come, looking amazing, her little suede skirt, her groovy little boots, her perfect makeup. I was like, you're my role model. I want to look like you at 92. So, yeah, so it's been, those people, I'm trying to think who else. I've been really fortunate. I've met so many people. And I think Helen Mirren, I fangirl.
Oh, that would be.
I fangirl.
Yeah.
We did a film together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we did a where we never got a chance. Like I really wanted to be able to say hello to her, but we didn't cross paths. But yeah, that was exciting. I love Helen. Lovely, lovely. Yeah,
As I said, you got to work with Robin Williams. And
Robin
Cadillac.
Williams.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
he kind of fanboyed out to you, right?
Well, I'll say this.
To your
Sort of.
character. Yes.
So I was doing a film with him called Cadillac Man, and I kept leaving every weekend to fly to North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, where we shot Ninja Turtles. So on Friday, they had to shoot me out as early as possible so I could run to the airport, hop on a plane, and be back in North Carolina first thing Saturday morning. And Robin just looked at me one day. He's like, "Where are you running off to every weekend?" And I said, "Oh, I'm doing this film, and it shoots in North Carolina." He said, "Oh, really? What's the film called?" Now, in my defense, I had never read the comic book. I didn't know there was a cartoon. And when my agent handed me the script, he said, "It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." Title's right there. And he said, "It's not a horror film. It's actually a really sweet movie." I had never heard of the Ninja Turtles before. So now I had to say the words out loud to Robin Williams. Big old movie star. Loved him so much. And I just said, "Yeah, I'm doing this movie. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." And, And he went, "What?" And I said, "Oh, it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it's a really great script." And he looked at me and he said, "They're doing a movie of that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you April?" "Yeah." And he said, "I have the first comic book, and every single one. I'm a huge fan. We got to get her out of here. She's got to go to..." And then when the film premiered, he flew with his family from San Francisco to Universal City and surprised me. That was very cool. That was very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I learned so much from him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
May he rest in peace.
now, when you're watching somebody like Robin Williams on set, do you ever forget that you are shooting too, and you just get caught watching somebody who is so good?
Yes. And the thing that he did, Robin is, you've all seen him, wildly inventive. So he never stops creating. He's never not trying something new. And so when you're shooting, you're doing something called coverage. So you come in and they'll shoot, like if we were shooting this, there'd be a camera facing us and they'd shoot a big wide master shot. And then they'd come in and do coverage. And they'd do close-ups of you, close-ups of me, probably go over your shoulder. It's called an over. And they'd shoot over your shoulder to me, over my shoulder to you. If somebody walked in, they'd shoot that. So a lot of people kind of save it for their coverage, meaning they kind of hold back their performance until the camera is on them. Not Robin. We could have shot his coverage, and he's off camera, and he's still inventing, and he's off camera, and he's giving you so much. And it was great because, that was the second movie I had ever done. Ninja Turtles was the third movie I had ever done. And I was really fortunate because I was starring in it. And he taught me that you never stop. First of all, you never stop giving, and you never stop inventing. And like the kindest thing you can do is really be there for the person who, now the camera is on, you're giving them so much off camera. Because have you ever heard the phrase phoning it in? I'm just phoning it in. Well, actors will do that. You might have just done a really emotional scene and they're crying, and now it's not them anymore and they're just phoning it in. They're not in that same emotional place, and now it's your turn to react to what they're doing, except they're not doing it anymore. Robin was always doing it. But then if you got to know him well enough, I used to say you're my second. I would the women always have to get into hair and makeup earlier, and then the men come in later because they don't. There's not as much to it, and Robin would come blazing into the makeup trailer, and I always said, "You are my second cup of coffee in the morning," and he was just so funny, and he would work on his stand-up for us, but you knew that he trusted you when he'd get quiet and just be. Because I think he was actually really shy by nature. I think he was an extroverted introvert.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely get that. By the way, again, we have a microphone right there, so if you have questions, please feel free to line up. And while people are thinking
Yeah.
while
Come
people are
on
thinking
up.
about their questions, as we do have a giant pumpkin shirt coming up, I'm going to ask
That's
you.
Avery.
I'm going to ask you, what do you have any Halloween traditions?
Well, yes. At our house, okay. My kids are older now, but we always decorated. But we never decorated until like a couple of days before. It wasn't like the way it is now where people would just decorate for the month of August and then September, and then they're ready by October. But we always did a lot. And I wanted to make, I had the kind of house, it was built in the 1920s, and you had to walk into a courtyard, and then there's a little courtyard, and then there's the door, and it just had this wonderful feeling. So there was always some special treats waiting for you. And then we had, if you walked down, we had a couple of trees in the front of the house, and I would cut up black plastic garbage bags, and you had to like walk through all these strips, and there was always music, there was always a smoke machine, and I was the weird lady. So I who doesn't love like a full-size candy bar? Like we were down with the full-size candy bars.
Yes.
But then the whole neighborhood kind of did full-size. So what do you need to go with your sweet? You need a little salt. So I started giving out bags of chips, and kids kind of loved it. At first they were like, what? But it was something like when you've been eating lots and lots of sweets, now you need a little salt. Only one kid literally threw the bag at my face. You leave, little girl. You are not welcome here. Go. No, I'll take it. No, you won't. Go. L.A.
Oh, okay.
L.A.
Avery, how you
Hi,
doing?
baby.
Hi, first of all, it's a pleasure getting to talk to you today, and that big fan. And I wanted to ask you, what did you like most being part of the Ninja Turtles movie? I know it could have been like a big, huge experience, everything, us being turtle fans growing up and everything. But what did that meant to you the most?
Well, for me, it was my first starring role in a film. So it signified that I was getting somewhere. It was a lot of work. It was so much fun. It was kind of like filmmaking summer camp because it was a low budget film,
Right.
and we had the Henson Creature Shop, and they all came in from London, and we also had all of the Sesame Street puppeteers. And so there were so many elements to it that were so exciting. And it was just this, it was kind of like, I'm here, I'm getting to do this thing that I've dreamt about my whole life, that I told everybody in elementary school. They said, what do you want to be? I was like an actress, and people would laugh like, huh, good luck with that. And I was the kind of kid that if you told me I couldn't do something, that was a dare. And so I was going to do it. And it was really a moment of you are going to actually have a career here, girl. So that was exciting.
Yes, you're absolutely amazing.
Oh,
yeah,
sweetheart. Thank you.
very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
When did you realize that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was going to be a success and not, a
I think
creepy-
it was that, well, when you're shooting film, you hope it's going to be good, but you never know. And I think we really didn't know that it was a success until that first weekend, and it just killed at the box office. And there were lines around blocks. And then at the end of the year, we made the top 10 highest grossing movies of 1990. We were ahead of The Hunt for Red October. It was like, what? So, yeah. But we didn't know. You never know at the
you
time.
never- right.
No.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi,
Nicole.
beautiful. Hi, Nicole.
What was your favorite scene in any of the Halloweentown movies that you filmed?
Ooh. Oh, there were so many good ones. I want to say my first favorite was we were all. So what they did, which was really good, Dwayne Dunham in the very first movie was the director, and he shot in sequence. A lot of times you'll shoot a movie like you might shoot the end of the movie before you even start the first part of the movie. But they shot in sequence. And so there was a scene at the table when we're all first together. It's Debbie and me and the kids. And it's actually the first time I got to meet her. And she sweeps onto the set, and she sweeps in like only Debbie Reynolds can, and she says, "Hello, everyone. I'm Princess Leia's mother. Debbie. You can call me Debbie." And it was like, you're not Princess Leia's mother. You're Debbie Reynolds' icon. And she was that kind of self-effacing, sweet, wonderful grandma who also had a potty mouth. And she was so funny because at first she'd be like, oh, she's a little sweet church lady who swears like a sailor. And she had so many incredible stories. And it was just, I think that was one of my first favorite times, but there were a lot. I mean, Kimberly and I on the bed with the marshmallows and the cocoa. Hey, speaking of which, I just want you guys to know that Kimberly and Daniel really wanted to be here this weekend. Unfortunately, her dad is very ill. And if anybody just wants to put him in your thoughts or prayers, it's apparently it's not good. And it's kind of sudden. And so she will be here next year, but she had to put family first. So that's why she's not here. And she loves you guys. And I told her I would tell you that. So, because I love her, because she's my girl.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name is John.
Hi, John.
Hi. I absolutely loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I was really looking forward to the second one and seeing you again.
Me too.
What happened?
Yeah. They did not ask me to come back. And they did not ask Steve Barron, our brilliant director, to come back. In Hollywood, couple things. The first movie is very different from the second movie and the third movie. The first one is more aligned. It's sort of a perfect mashup of comic book and cartoon. Second movie, third movie are much more cartoon. And Golden Harvest, which was the company that made the film, their background was in kung fu movies. It was a Chinese production company. It was more about action, and they really didn't care about the story. And so they didn't appreciate like the brilliance of that script or the brilliance of Steve Barron, our director, or the Henson. It was sort of like, it was just really for them about making money. And I wasn't asked back because I am April O'Neil. And they were doing some things that were not cool. And I spoke up about it. And, well, if you're a woman in Hollywood and you speak your mind, they will fire you. So I have zero regrets. I think the only thing I would do differently is I was a little sister. I had older brothers. And so if there was a fight, I'd jump in. And I didn't know that my point of view wasn't welcome. I probably would have said something anyway, but I might have maybe said it a little differently.
Sure.
Seeing that tiny little egos were attached. Now, that's not a nice thing to say, but it was definitely some men who didn't want a woman to tell them what to do. So,
Just wanted to give you a heads up.
yes.
Can you see my shirt?
Zombie Burger.
That's right.
You're like the 11th person.
I'm
I
just
think I have to
saying.
go to Zombie
Yeah.
Burger.
Hello. What's your
Hi,
name?
sweetheart.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
I have a question for you. I was wondering what it was like to making all those Halloweentown movies.
It was really, really fun. What was crazy was watching the kids grow up because they were little bitty things. I mean, Emily Roski was 6, and she did 1, 2, and 3, and after that, she kind of left the business, and so they wrote her out of the 4th movie. They just referred to her. It was so much fun to watch them grow up. I loved being in that world. I loved the whole Halloweentown. Like the first time we were shooting the very first film, Alfred Soul was the production designer, and he just had this vision that was incredible. Benny, the cab driver, psychic cab, we know where you want to go. And there were so many beautiful things everywhere, and we felt like you didn't even have to have an imagination. You didn't have to make pretend. It was all right there for us as actors. And now a lot of times, like, there's CGI, so you're doing everything to a green screen and you can't see anything. But it was really fun. There were so many great times. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As you said, it is a legit family. It's a a family movie, and as you said, you got to watch them grow up, and you still get to travel the country, do conventions with them.
Yeah,
just
we
like
were just all together in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee 3 weeks ago, I want to say. And Emily Roski is at her, I'm sure by now she's had that baby, but it's her 3rd. And it's been so much fun because, like, Kimberly and Daniel, who follows them? Do you follow them online? Yeah. Come on, those two. Yeah, a beautiful wedding.
You
She
get,
was a
like,
gorgeous bride.
it's like little mini family reunions every time you get.
It is.
Yeah.
And, well, Kimberly and I are pretty close. So we talk pretty regularly, text a lot. And I'm bummed because last week she was in Nashville. She called me and said, guess what? I'm going to be in Nashville. This is where I'm going to be. How far is this from your house? I said, oh, that's amazing. 15 minutes. I'll be in New Hampshire. Oh! Because she's told me that she's pretty sure she's going to come to Nashville and fall in love with the town. I'm like, yes. I don't know that they'll leave LA, but who knows?
Hello.
What about you?
What's your name?
My name is Emily, and I have a question for you. What did it feel like working with Kimberly Brown?
It felt so good. And I have to tell you, and I've told this story, and it always makes her blush. Okay, the first scenes when we're in the living room and Sophie's like, someone's coming, and Kimberly's going, I'm could be just a potato and put down roots, and I remember watching her, and she was so natural. She just didn't seem like she was acting. She was just Marnie out of the gate. And I just fell in love with her. And again, it was really fun to watch her grow up and to stay friends with her, to be so close to, we call each other for advice. Now that she's a grown up, now she can give advice. Although kids can give advice. Kids give great advice. It was a joy, and it's still a joy. And who knows, maybe someday they'll do another one. They redid Hocus Pocus, so it'd be fun to work with her again.
Absolutely.
She'd be in.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Hello,
Hi.
what's your name?
My name's Justin.
Hi, Justin.
I have a question for you.
What?
If there's gonna be another Halloweentown movie, if you're the director, what would you make it?
Oh, well. First of all, Kimberly J. Brown would have to be in it. Daniel would have to come back. We've talked about this because fans come up a lot with ideas. We've been asked so many times, would we do another one? And then one of the things that we were somewhere, I don't know, we all had downtime waiting to go to a panel or something and saying, well, what would the story be? And because Debbie's not with us anymore, she passed away, that we'd all kind of shift roles where I would sort of step into the Aggie role where now I was the grandmother and, the oldest witch. Kimberly would sort of step into my role and would, of course, have to have kids. But she thought it would be great if she was the mayor of Halloweentown. And we were thinking, because Emily doesn't really act anymore, that it would be fun to have something with Sophie. We'd have to probably bring in another character, but to play her, or another actor. But there's so many places that we could go. So those are just a few of the ideas.
Do you have
Do you have
any
ideas?
Well,
Well,
okay, hold on. Everybody get ready for a dissertation. Here we
Milo,
go.
you asked the perfect question.
well, I'm thinking go back to the original house.
Right.
Like maybe like the villain from the second one has like a kid or something, then he comes and he's like
Right.
something like that.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm putting it down in a notebook. You're adorable. Crazy clowns.
Whoop whoop! I'm Scavenger.
Hi, what's your name?
Scavenger.
Scavenger.
Yes. So Michael Bay could not compare to the original Turtles, anywho. But my question is, I don't know if he passed before or after, but did you get a chance to work with Jim Henson?
Well, what I did get to, we worked sort of in tandem in that the creatures, excuse me, his son Brian was in charge of the creature shop in London. One of my favorite days was we were shooting the scene where April wakes up in the sewer.
Yes.
Splinter's there. And I'm shooting, and that space in front of you, there's the camera, there's the camera operator, there's the focus puller. Generally, the director's sort of out of there, watching on a monitor, although we didn't have monitors then. He'd just be watching from the side, probably behind the camera. But that's what you expect. And so you kind of, in your mind, you're like, they're just part of the scene. But they usually keep the sight line clean. So there's nobody there. So you can just kind of focus. I'm doing this, and in walks this guy right into my sight line. And it's Jim Henson.
Ooh.
And my brain starts to scream. And I'm shooting a scene, and now I'm having a conversation in my head while I'm shooting a scene about Jim Henson standing over there. And oh my God, Jim Henson. And then there's another person who walks into my head and goes, hey, you're acting. Come on, pay attention. But Jim Henson's over there. And I'm talking to the turtles.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in my head. But you might know something about that.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just thinking, with this, yes, great minds. Great minds.
But thank you for taking your time with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, I love that song.
Circling
Right.
back to Turtles some more. I'm sure you've been asked this already, but there's been talk of adapting the last Ronin Turtles comic into a movie. Is there anything that would bring our original April O'Neil back to the Turtles?
Oh, there's
world?
lots of things that would bring her back. So last weekend, I was in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I was with all the artists who so beautifully have created the last Ronin. I mean, they came. It was just it was so exciting. And Kevin was there, and I will say this: I can neither deny nor confirm that I would be doing it. There was a lot of support for it. There is a lot of very exciting signs and things, but there's nothing I can say publicly at the moment. Having said that, it would be the most beautiful bookend, and if you ask any of those guys, they will scream it for the rooftops that it must be me. So, it looks good, but we may have to call on you if it takes a turn. So we'll need your help
Prepare
to scream
your
from the
social
rooftops.
medias.
But I think it would. I think personally it would be a great bookend to the story.
Absolutely.
And spoiler. What I'm pretty sure.
Everyone put your phones away.
I don't know if I can say it. All right, I'll say this.
Dude, don't get in trouble.
I don't want to get in trouble. There might be more to come. There might be more to come. We'll see.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They love their fans, so I don't think they're done.
Now I have to go to the movies because
Hello, what's
I'm
your
an
name?
inside person. Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne.
So, big Halloweentown fan.
Thank you.
I don't know if you could act on demand or want to, but could you yell at me like I'm Marnie? Just for one time. Just be like, Marnie! Just whatever. I just want to, a little live performance.
You will not. What else do I say to her? You guys feed me some lines.
Oh
Oh
there's so
God,
many.
I know, right? What? You will not go trick or treating. Mom? Oh God, it's been so long. Oh God, you're only gonna be something, but that's not yelling. That's talking to my mom. Okay, so let me, in my defense. So people have said to me, "Why were you so mean?" And I honestly struggled with that. Why? And then it came to me. So I'm a witch who's pretending to be human, who has half witch, half human children. Who here has seen E.T.? What'd they do to him? Nothing good. So if they knew that they were witches and it got out, they could become science experiments. And now all of Halloweentown could be in jeopardy. And so as an actor, all the choices that I make, I try to do them out of love. And love can be really misguided. I mean, I wasn't a crazy person, but I have played crazy people who've had very misguided love. And it was my way of saving them. And then, of course, I was like the rebellious young woman who wanted nothing to do with witches, wanted to go to the mortal world, met somebody, fell in love, and showed my mom. And, of course, you always want to go home. So that was why I was mean, because I love my children so much and I wanted to save them.
No, I think that's why, like, because I don't know, I was in middle school when the first one came out, and I really think that it holds a lot of weight with the dynamic of, you know, the grandma and you, because you're rebelling your mom and Marnie's rebelling you. And
Tale as old as time.
I think all of us can relate. I'm like, just let her be. Like, she
Right.
wants to be a
Well,
witch.
it's so funny because I've had women come up to me who were young girls when they were watching the movies, and now they're moms, and they're like, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yes. So thank you for that.
You're
Round of
so
applause.
welcome.
Thank you. All right, last question. Hello, what's your name?
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
So behind the scenes, you always see bloopers and whatnot. Who would be the prankster of the Halloweentown?
Debbie. Debbie. But the kids were pretty good. I had a special jar that I had to put money in because I swore a lot. And they loved it because it was more money in the jar. And so they really wanted me to swear. And I was mostly really good, but sometimes I was just not really good. And we were, you know, it was a very playful set. So you were, if you messed up, it's sometimes it can get very serious on a film set, and everybody's so stressed and they don't want to mess up. And we didn't have that. We just had easy breezy Maybelline fun all the time. And so we had some really good bloopers. I wish, you know, that they were there, because really Debbie's were the best. I mean, she was a song and dance woman. You know, she was past vaudeville, but she would have been a great vaudevillian. But blooper reels are my favorite. I've made a lot of them. I mess up a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any last words for the great folks here in Des Moines?
Oh,
And
you
their
guys are
weekend?
cool. It's been so much fun. I want to come back to Iowa. I guess I have to go to Zombie Burger. No, it's been fun, and just really keep Kimberly in your prayers. Her dad, he's great. We want to see him keep being great.
Maybe we could do this again next year.
Yes,
little
let's do it
reunion.
again next year.
What do you guys say? Next year?
Yes.
All right, so